What a night for the Parisians. Kvara was the man of the match. As Grella said, what a season he is having with PSG. He's settled in pretty nicely, hasn't he? 4 goals, 4 assists. Let's hear from the goal scorer himself.
Kvara, congratulations first, because you are man of the match. How did you turn this game tonight?
Yeah, it was a difficult start because we conceded the goal, but the good feeling was that Doué scores us, and we come back on the game and we try to score more and more goals. So we are happy with this result, but we have to keep going because there is the second game and job's not finished.
Last question about the game in Aston Villa in Birmingham. How do you want to play this game? How do you want to conserve now this advantage?
There will be a little bit difficult game, but we have to try to play our game, and I think we can try to play our game, and we will see what's happening there.
Thank you. And congratulations. Thanks.
How fun is it to watch Kvara play? Obviously, we all watched him play for Napoli, but did you expect him to have such an impact at the very, very top, Grella, on Champions League nights like tonight?
Yeah, I did. And I think that if he went to the perfect fit, because PSG is a team that has the football almost all the time, and they're a team that, because they have the football all the time, they face low blocks, like what we saw today with Aston Villa. They have no choice. Teams have no choice but to get pinned back and defend their goal, right? So you need a guy that's quite creative. You need a guy that can chop. You need a guy that can wiggle, that can pass, that can do everything. You don't necessarily need the pacey winger every single time, although they do have that in Barcola. They do have that in Dembele as well. And Doué is also an incredible addition to the team. But this guy's perfect because he can do a little bit of everything. And you see the goal is a perfect example of him being able to break down on the counter and find that near post and make the difference. So great fit for him. He looks like he's happy, enjoying his football as well. I mean, you see 4 goals, 4 assists in 17 matches. It's not really blowing you away. But when you watch the game, he makes the difference.
And the credit
even when he's not scoring.
To Luis Enrique. Because when he arrived at PSG, they had to make a decision. They had Marco Asensio, they had Kang In Lee, they had Gonzalo Ramos, they had Bradley Barcola, they had Désiré Doué, they had Ousmane Dembele. It felt like an overbooking of attacking options. They got rid of Asensio. Gonzalo Ramos is on the bench, Kang In Lee's on the bench. And he's figuring out with 4 players between Dembele, Barcola, himself, and Doué, just the right balance in order to make world-class impact against Liverpool, take down a Liverpool side that we highly rated, and now really dominate this Aston Villa side.
Whoever starts, it's a great starter. Whoever doesn't start and can come on, it's a great impact player.
Yeah.
Like, it's a luxury of riches right now, and the balance is all right. Like Nico, so Nico and I were talking, you want to say about, we talk about individual moments, the differences?
No, yeah, that it's incredible how at this stage, when 2 teams, we're talking about the 8 best teams in theory in Europe, sometimes you need a difference maker, a moment of difference that's world-class quality. Because Villa found themselves up on the scoreline, and look at that goal that Désiré Doué, 19-year-old, how old is he, 18, 19 years old? He creates a world-class finish. That's an extraordinary shot, an extraordinary goal. And that is so unbelievable, jaw-dropping skill is what puts PSG right back into it. You know, it's not a team, it's not an amazing team goal, but it's a moment of brilliance that puts PSG right back into the driver's seat.
Yeah, he's 19 years old, and it's the moments where we talk about these conversations about too much tactics, and it's moments when you say as a player, just take that emphasis, take that. He goes inside, doesn't want to look for the pass, I'm going to have a shot, and what a strike it is. And he's a very confident young lad, and I saw that as well when he came on at Anfield, and you could see straight away there's something special about this kid. He gets the ball at Anfield, willing to take people on. I tell you, that's something that this Paris Saint-Germain team does ever so well. There's one thing that I love is when wingers get the ball, and as soon as they get it, first touch is forward. I'm already running at you. So as a defender, you can't get set. You can't get ready in your mind of how you want to defend, which way you want to show them. You're already backtracking, and you're already having to follow runners because they're just so aggressive. He does it so well. Barcola does it so well. And it's so difficult to defend against. Kvara does it as well. As soon as he gets the ball, I'm going at you. And that's what's great to see. But it's also that confidence that these young players have to say, I'm going to be that difference maker. And that's why I think needs to happen more in the modern game of these players taking these one-on-one moments, these 1v1 situations, having that confidence to make it happen than just the things that makes us bored at times when they become pass.
Right.
It's different if you're managing a game. If you're 3-0 up and you're being professional in your approach, waiting for someone to go snooping. But if you're trying to win a game, you've got to be aggressive.
What about the first half against the second half of the season stats, Nico? That was something that you were interested in earlier. What kind of story does this tell to you?
It shows that Désiré Doué has blossomed. You look at the beginning of the season, 8 starts only, 2 goals, 2 assists, but with several games in 2025 when PSG has come to life in the Cup, in the Champions League, and to finish a Ligue 1 title undefeated up to this point, they clinched it without dropping a game, looking to become the first ever French team to win Ligue 1 without losing. It's pretty incredible. And Doué in 2025 is a big reason. 10 goals, 9 assists, and 18 starts. That's absolutely incredible.
It's amazing,
production.
but it's also because Barcola had a little bit of a downward slope, and it wasn't so much numbers-wise. It was more the performance. And again, like you said, credit to Luis Enrique. Luis Enrique saw that Barcola wasn't being as impactful as he was when he first had his opportunity. Doué gets a chance, and he took it. And that's why I always say to young players, always be ready for when that opportunity comes. And when it comes, you better grab it with both hands, and that's what he's done now.
It's a completely different look, isn't it, for PSG that we saw a couple of editions ago in the Champions League where it was full of superstars. How does this PSG match up to those in the past, Grella? Is this the best version we're seeing of them?
This PSG grew a lot with the win over Liverpool. I think they showed that big win in Anfield and the way that they managed the counterattack and the way that they defended and played and put pressure and stuck to their identity. Young team without Mbappe, chip on the shoulder. So there's growth. There's for sure growth. You also have to look at the goal that they concede today because they're in total control of that game 35 minutes in, and then they concede a goal through 4 passes, really nothing. They turn it over, and in 4 passes they concede. So that's something for sure they have to look at. They're heavily reliant on their wingers and the midfield getting the ball out there and creating these moments for them.
It's the fullbacks as well.
The fullbacks, fantastic as well. But
they're massive strengths for this PSG.
It's a team to me that's grown a lot in maturity and the way that they approach games. I mean, even in this game, do you go down 1-0, fine, you could control the game. You go down 1-0, they get a bit of brilliance from Doué, bit of brilliance from Kvara, but they control the game at 800-something passes. And then in the end, the biggest thing for me was there's 10 minutes to go. They're winning 2-1. They probably deserve to be winning 3 or 4 by 3 or 4, but they're winning 2-1. They were so patient in getting that third goal. And Aston Villa was like, okay, we might get out of here 2-1. And then, boom, that little sliding pass to the fullback. There's so much maturity in understanding that moment. And I think we saw that with Inter against Bayern yesterday. They knew when to go for it and when to push and when to catch the Bayern on the counter.
I will just put one more word on that maturity. I'll put the word hunger. When I look at this Paris Saint-Germain side, there's a different hunger about them because when you watch that game today, there was a different energy level that Aston Villa just couldn't cope with. When it was in possession, out of possession, the way they passed and moved that ball, the way they hunt to win it back, they literally suffocated Aston Villa for pretty much 90 minutes of the game. So there's a different hunger for success. This is the trophy that they're chasing. We've seen it with Manchester City when they came in, the managers they had, they won the Premier League. Yes, they won the Premier League, but that wasn't what they really wanted. They wanted the Champions League. And it took Pep Guardiola to come in for them to get the golden goose. And this is the one trophy that's been eluding Paris Saint-Germain for so long. This is the trophy that they want. And I see a different hunger and application from these players.
On that note, to answer your question about is this the best PSG side, I want to see them continue to grow. Because they're ravenous, it looks like, against Liverpool. The way that they dominated Liverpool, was able to keep the ball. Now against Aston Villa, get through to the next game, play Arsenal or Real Madrid, and then get to a final and win a final. That's growth. That's ascension in your collective play.
But I look at a team. You guys are being nice. I would say transformation, because in the group stages they were absolutely
But it's growth, it's maturity. They've played into the season.
It could be a very different situation, couldn't it, if they didn't beat Liverpool and Luis Enrique's under pressure.
But those are growing moments. Those are moments that you say, look at what we did against a top European team. We could do that to anybody. Yeah. But we're not there yet. I don't want to put the Champions League crown on their head. This is the quarterfinals. It's early before claiming this is the best PSG team I've ever seen.
They're in the semifinal.
Right. Okay.
All right, Grella.
There's a PSG team that got to a final in 2020 that was also very good, and I don't just want to walk over that because they were centimeters away. No, against Bayern Munich that they lost to in the final to a Kingsley Coman goal. The margins were so thin from that PSG being crowned Champions League winners with Ney, with Mbappe, and the superstar project almost gave you a Champions League title. So before we start saying, I really like this PSG team, before we start saying that this PSG team is the greatest ever, let them get to the biggest instance that they've gotten to before.
It is a better balanced team, though. When you look at it football perspective, this is the best balanced PSG we've seen. Like, forget the names and where they get to. When you watch football, just say as a team, it's hard to deny that this is not the best balanced one.